Welcome to Mentorus. This is the place where we strip away illusions, dive into the unseen layers of the human mind, and confront the truths we spend our lives avoiding. If you are here, you are searching for clarity in a world addicted to noise. Stay with me until the end, because today's message might change the way you see your entire life. Are you really busy, or are you just avoiding something? I used to swear the calendar proved I mattered. Back-to-back calls, color-coded tasks, a phone that hummed like a beehive. If you'd asked me how I was, I would have said busy, like I was saying blessed. Then I noticed a quiet pattern that scared me. I was always moving, but my life wasn't. It turns out you can live in perpetual motion and never make progress. The schedule can be full, and the soul can be empty. The inbox can be clear, and your actual work can be untouched. And the scariest question is not how much you have to do, it's what you reusing your to-do list to avoid. Busy became a costume I wore so no one would see the parts of me that felt uncertain. If I kept sprinting, no one could ask why I was running. If I kept saying yes, no one would notice I didn't know what I wanted. My days were layered with tasks that created the sensation of momentum while carefully steering me away from the conversations and decisions that threatened to change me. I told myself I was dedicated. I was actually anesthetized. Look around in 2025, and busy is a badge you can buy without noticing. Your phone manufactures urgency on a schedule designed to split your attention into confetti. Notifications don't just alert you. They audition for your focus like impatient actors. Every ping promises an opportunity. Every scroll is a slot machine that sometimes pays out someone liked your post, a message arrived, a number moved up. Micro rewards keep you grazing all day, never full, never still. The result is a life that feels always on and, paradoxically, always postponed. If this resonates, subscribe to Mentorus now so you don't miss the deeper conversations we have about the mind you carry but rarely examine. We are praised for our capacity to hustle. We are rarely praised for our capacity to stop. In conversations, busy functions like a secret handshake. Say it, and people nod with respect, as if you announced a title or a rank. But the culture that worships constant motion never asks whether motion is the right metric. We schedule performance reviews for output, not outcomes. We count tasks shipped, not value created. We applaud the visible effort and ignore the invisible avoidance. There is a neurological reason this trap feels satisfying. When you cross off a task, especially a small one, you get a brief hit of dopamine. It feels like achievement. The brain starts to crave that tiny spike, so you begin hunting for smaller and smaller wins to keep the feeling going. Reply, archive, react, send, check. The loop is tight, the rewards are immediate, and the cost is hidden. The tasks that actually change your life rarely deliver instant gratification. Depth has a delayed payoff. Shallow work pays you now. Deep work pays you later. Guess which one your nervous system prefers when it's tired, stressed, or afraid? The mind hates uncertainty, so it replaces it with activity. Uncertainty says, I don't know what will happen if I write the book, launch the business, leave the job, say the truth. Activity says, at least I replied to every email. We prefer measurable movement over meaningful discomfort, so we bargain with ourselves. I'll do the small thing now, and the big thing when I have time, but time never appears. We have to make it by removing the small thing. Until then, the to-do list becomes a sophisticated distraction, device plausible, respectable, always expanding. There is also attention residue, the invisible cost of switching. Every time you jump between tasks, a trace of the previous one follows you. Your concentration arrives fragmented, like a signal bouncing between towers. Even when you sit down to do something important, your mind still echoes with the last thing you touched. That residue reduces the quality of thought you can bring to the present moment. So the important work feels heavier than it should. The easiest way to avoid that heaviness is to slice the day into thinner and thinner tasks, so nothing feels heavy enough to demand full presence. This is how a week can vanish. If you want to know whether busy is honest work or avoidance, try a simple experiment. Imagine you could pause your life for 3 weeks with all bills paid and all obligations covered. What would you do that you're not doing now? The answers come fast. They've been waiting in a quiet room inside you. Now ask, why am I not doing them? If your first response is no time, look one layer deeper. No time is often camouflage for no confidence, no clarity, no permission, or no courage. We blame the calendar because it's easier than naming the fear. Here is a second experiment. Open your calendar and your task list and ask a single ruthless question of each entry. Does this move the story of my life forward? Not the story people see, but the story I would want played back to me in the last hour of my life. If the answer is maybe, it is a no for now. You don't have to delete it forever, but you do have to stop hiding behind it. Most of us are not overloaded. We are over-obligated. We say yes to protect a reputation we don't even want to keep. There's a clearer way to picture it. Imagine a jar on your desk. There are stones, pebbles, and sand next to it. The stones are your few vital moves, the work and relationships that define your direction. The pebbles are supportive tasks. They matter, but they don't carry your life forward alone. The sand is everything else necessary at times, but shapeless. If you pour the sand first, there's no room left for the stones. If you place the stones first, pebbles can find space, and sand fills the cracks. Busy life is sand-first life. It always feels full. It rarely feels meaningful. Let me tell you a story about Alex. For years, Alex was the model employee, always reachable, always in motion. Messages at 6 a.m., late-night decks, weekend quick favors. Promotions arrived. Applause arrived. Satisfaction did not. Ask Alex what mattered and you'd get a confident answer. I want to build things that last. Ask Alex what filled most days and you'd get the truth. I spend my time reacting. The turning point wasn't a dramatic burnout. It was a quiet question that landed like a stone dropped into a lake. If I continue like this for 5 more years, what do I become? The silence afterward was the answer. Alex didn't need more time. Alex needed fewer disguises. There is another story, this time about Maya. She ran a small company and prided herself on availability. Her team could reach her anytime, and they did. She sat in every meeting, answered every question, solved every small problem. The business grew wider, and she grew thinner, stretched across everything, present for nothing. Her wake-up moment was embarrassingly simple. Her child asked why she liked her phone more than dinner. That wasn't true, but it had become accurate. The next day, Maya did something radical by modern standards. She made herself scarce. She stopped being the first responder. She taught her team to bring problems packaged with possible solutions. She removed herself from meetings that needed an update, not a decision. Within months, the company made better decisions without her and with her. What changed wasn't time, it was identity. She stopped confusing proximity with leadership. The first cut is the hardest and the cleanest. Choose 1 hour each morning that belongs to your most important work. Not to the world, not to messages, not to updates. Not to maintenance, just the work that would make you proud if nothing else got done. Guard that hour like medicine. No phone within reach. 1 tab. 1 task. 1 promise kept. That hour is a small rebellion against the economy of distraction and the identity of busyness. You will feel withdrawal. Your hand will twitch toward the device. Stay with the discomfort. The signal-to-noise ratio of your life will shift slowly in your favor. Most people will say they can't afford that hour, so try a different door. Eliminate before you optimize. Pick 3 low-value obligations and make honest exits. A meeting where you are informational, not essential. A committee that flatters your ego more than it feeds your mission. A recurring check-in that belongs in an email or a shared document. Send graceful short notes. Thank them. Bow out. Reclaim the hour by subtraction, not by speed. Then close the easy escape hatches. Put a small gate at the entrance of your day. No messages, news, or social feeds until after you touch your most important work. You can look at the world later. Meet your life first. Build one-screen habits. If you need multiple windows for genuine deep work, fine. But eliminate wandering tabs that exist only to promise a different feeling every 5 minutes. If you must use your phone, convert it into a tool, not a toy. Remove the icons that whisper to you in idle moments. Move addictive apps off the first screen. Turn off non-essential notifications. All of them. If the thought, what if I miss something, shouts back, ask a better question. What if you miss yourself? The guilt about doing nothing needs translation. Doing nothing is often what your brain needs to do something exceptional later. Still mind repairs the machinery that busy life wears down. Walk without headphones sometimes. Stare out the window on purpose. Let your mind wander and connect dots you didn't know belonged together. Creativity is a quiet friend. It waits until the party of notifications is over to come sit beside you. Watch your language. Every time you catch yourself saying "I'm busy," replace it with "I'm choosing. I'm choosing to do this instead of that. I'm choosing to check my phone instead of reading. I'm choosing to accept this request instead of protecting my hour." Choice is empowering and uncomfortable. It removes the shield of inevitability and hands the responsibility back to you. Responsibility is heavier than busy, but it is also more honest, and honesty will start to set you free. There's a deeper layer, and it's the one we least want to name. Sometimes we stay busy so we have to grieve. The grief of a dream we outgrew. The grief of a relationship we've outlived. The grief of an identity that served us until it didn't. Slowing down invites those conversations into the room, so we don't slow down. We build a life that keeps the door closed, and we call it productivity. If this is you, your calendar is a shield. It works for a while, but you will notice the numbness spread. Numbness is the price the soul pays for safety. When you finally open the door, grief will come in, like weather, sometimes a storm, sometimes a soft rain. Let it. The feelings you won't feel will build a life you won't love. There is no plan, no system, no optimization hack that can do this part for you. You sit, you feel, you tell the truth, you let something end so something else can begin. And then, almost without drama, your schedule starts to look like you again. Now, build a practical spine sturdy enough to hold this all together. Choose 3 victories per day, not 30.
3.
1 personal, 1 professional, 1 relational. Write them down the night before. When you wake up, your brain has a map. The 3 become stones in your jar. Everything else is pebbles and sand. When interruptions arrive, and you return to the stones, you will be tempted to add more. Don't. The discipline of few is what makes the day feel possible again. If someone in your life needs this clarity, share this video with them now. It may be the mirror they've been avoiding. Use the aftertaste test. After a task, notice how you feel 15 minutes later. Do you feel lighter, clearer, closer to who you want to be? Or do you feel scattered, resentful, and wired? Your nervous system is giving you data. Adjust next time. Something consistently leaves a bitter aftertaste. It is a candidate for elimination, delegation, or stronger boundaries. Build closing rituals. Busy life leaks into nights because the day never actually ends. It just fades until you fall asleep with the screen. Set a time where you summarize the day in 3 sentences. What mattered? What moved? What can wait? Then list the next 3 victories. Close the loop. Put the work to bed so your mind can rest. Rest is not the opposite of work. It is the partner that makes work possible. If you lead a team, make this a cultural shift, not a private rebellion. Shorter meetings with real agendas. 2 kinds of communication. Urgent and everything else. Written updates before live calls. It's quiet hours on the calendar that are truly quiet. Praise people for protecting depth, not for responding fast. Reward outcomes, not online presence. Your people will do what you applaud. If you applaud busyness, they will burn. If you applaud clarity, they will build. Expect relapse. There will be days when you slide back into motion for motion's sake. The brain likes familiar loops. When you notice it, don't scorch the earth with shame. Just pause and ask the question that resets everything. What am I avoiding right now? Then sit with the answer long enough to make a different move. You don't need more time to live a meaningful life. You need fewer lies about where your time goes. Some of you will argue that your busyness is not self-inflicted. You have a demanding boss, small children, aging parents, debts, deadlines, unexpected crises. That is real. Life is not a tidy laboratory. But underneath the constraints, there is still a margin of choice. Even a small margin matters. 10 minutes of protected focus can change the slope of a day. One honest conversation can remove a recurring energy leak that has stolen hours for years. One boundary can turn chaos into something you can carry. Here is a simple way to find that margin. At the beginning of each week, write a single sentence that would make the week worth living if it came true. Not a list, A sentence. This week will be worth it if I write the first page. This week will be worth it if I have the hard conversation. This week will be worth it if I walk every evening and actually watch the sky. Keep that sentence visible. Let it compete with the world's demands. Let it win. Practice the rule of first touch. Tomorrow morning, before you touch the world, touch the work that scares you. 10 minutes, not 10 hours. Open the draft, sketch the idea, outline the pitch, read the first page, send the honest message. Your nervous system will protest. It'll offer you easier options that look productive. Decline them. You're training your attention to trust you. You are teaching your mind that fear is not the captain. Train your environment to support you. Put the tools for your important work within arm's reach and the temptations out of sight. If the book you want to read is buried under clutter, you won't read it. If the guitar is in the case, you won't play it. If your phone sleeps outside your bedroom, your mornings will belong to you again. The mind follows the path of least resistance. Make the right thing the easy thing. Redefine progress. Progress is not speed. Progress is direction repeated. 2 pages a day is a book in a year. 20 minutes of language practice becomes fluency over time. 5 honest push-ups repeated build strength you don't have to think about. Consistency is the quiet superpower your busy life keeps stealing from you. Relearn the difference between urgency and importance. Urgency screams, importance whispers. Most of your regrets will come from the whispers you ignored. You will not wish you had answered more messages faster. You might wish you had written the letter, made the trip, protected the hour, told the truth, watched the sunset, played on the floor, asked for help, apologized sooner. Importance is often gentle until the day it isn't. Listen while it still whispers. Be suspicious of false fires. A surprising amount of what looks urgent is performative. It exists to justify someone else's busyness. Ask before you commit your time. What happens if this waits? Who is this for? What outcome would actually matter a month from now? When you ask for clarity, false fires burn out quickly. Honor seasonality. Life moves in cycles, push and pause, sow and harvest, sprint and sleep. If you try to sprint every season, you will turn your life into a blur and call it momentum. There is a reason athletes have off seasons and musicians have rests between notes. Your work needs rests. Your relationships need rests. You need rests. Rest is where meaning catches up. Consider the courage of constraints. People fear constraints because they think constraints reduce freedom. But constraints can create the shape within which freedom becomes possible. 1 hour for the most important work each morning is a constraint. 3 victories per day is a constraint. No notifications before noon is a constraint. Together they carve out the space where your real life can happen. Practice saying no as a form of respect for your mission and for the people who truly need you at your best. A clean no today prevents a soggy, resentful yes tomorrow. You don't have to explain your no with a long story. You can say, I can't give this the attention it deserves. You can say, this is not aligned with my current priorities. You can say, I'm protecting the hour I promised to my most important work. The people who respect clarity are the ones you want around you. The people who punish boundaries were feeding on the absence of them. Remember that attention is not just a mental resource, it is an emotional one. Every open loop in your head occupies not just cognitive slots, but emotional bandwidth. Closing loops is not only about being organized, it is about becoming available for the life in front of you. When you reduce open loops, you reduce ambient anxiety. Anxiety loves ambiguity. Clarity calms it. If you work in a place that rewards performative busyness, you can still build a pocket of sovereignty. Decide which outputs actually matter and show them consistently. Ask for measuring sticks that reflect outcomes, not online presence. Create templates and checklists that reduce decision fatigue for routine tasks, so you can save decision-making for the work that deserves it. And if you are in a position to set the tone, set it. Protect deep work hours for your team. Celebrate thoughtful solutions over frantic activity. Make it normal to pause before speaking. Make it safe to think. The truth about a busy life is not that you are weak. It is that your environment is louder than your intention, unless you design it otherwise. Design is a series of small choices repeated until they become a habitat. The habitat of your mind either grows your best work or starves it. Start building the habitat today with one choice that costs you a little comfort and buys you a lot of clarity. Let's return to Alex and Maya, months later. Alex's calendar has more blank space, fewer standing meetings, and a daily hour fiercely guarded. Some colleagues misunderstood at first. A few thought Alex had become less committed, but the work improved. Projects finished. Ideas moved from drafts to delivery, and Alex, the person, returned. Maya's company operates with clearer lanes. Decisions happen closer to the information, and her presence is meaningful when she shows up, because she is not spread paper thin. At home, dinner's a table again, not a docking station. The phone didn't become evil or forbidden, it just stopped being in charge. You will not be saved by a perfectly arranged day. Life refuses to be fully domesticated. Emergencies will still happen. People will still need you. The point is not control, the point is choice. You can choose a different rhythm, even inside a noisy world. You can choose a life that measures success by alignment, not by exhaustion. You can choose depth over display. The price is honesty. The reward is presence. If you need a place to start, make it small and provable. Tomorrow morning, wake up and touch the work that scares you before you touch the world that distracts you. 10 minutes, then again the next day. String together a week of beginnings. Notice how your nervous system starts to expect the truth first. Momentum is not speed, it is direction repeated. There will be moments when you relapse into the old identity, when you chase the safety of busyness because standing still feels like being seen. When you catch yourself, smile at the old reflex and choose again. Ask, what am I avoiding right now? And do one move toward it. Not all of it, one move. The second move is easier. You won't be applauded for empty spaces on your calendar. No one hands out trophies for stillness. But quietly, consistently, those empty spaces will start to fill with the life you said you were too busy to build. And at some point you'll notice you're moving differently, not faster, not louder, just truer. That's when you'll realize the badge you wore for years was unnecessary. You never needed to be busy to be worthy. You needed to be awake to be alive. Are you really busy, or are you just avoiding something? Your phone will give you 1,000 reasons to look away. Your calendar will offer clean, respectable excuses to postpone the life you keep promising yourself. But the truth doesn't need your excuses. It needs your presence. The truth about your busy life is that it is trying to keep you safe from the part of you that could make a change. The part of you that could be wrong, the part of you that could be new. Open the door. Put one stone in the jar. Protect 1 hour. Tell one truth. And watch how the world, which insists you go faster, starts to open when you dare to go deeper. If this message struck something in you, leave your story in the comments below. Your voice might be the reason someone else finally wakes up.